What if I told you that right now, in this very moment, there's a thought forming in your mind that could completely reshape your entire reality? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now. You know that feeling when you're standing at the edge of something magnificent, and your heart starts racing with a mixture of excitement and terror? That's exactly where you are in this moment. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just another spiritual concept or feel-good philosophy. It's the quantum mechanics of consciousness itself, and once you understand it, you'll never see your life the same way again. There's something happening in your reality that you might not have noticed yet. A shift so subtle, so profound, that most people miss it entirely. But you're here, which means you're ready to see what others cannot. You're ready to understand the single thought that changes everything. Right now, as you're absorbing these words, billions of neurons in your brain are firing, creating patterns of energy that ripple out into the quantum field around you. Science has shown us that consciousness doesn't exist inside your brain exists inside consciousness. And that changes absolutely everything about what's possible for you. If this message found its way to you today, if something guided you to this moment of discovery, consider hitting that subscribe button. The universe has a way of using channels like this to deliver exactly what you need to hear, when you need to hear it most. Think about the last time you had a thought that seemed to come from nowhere, a sudden knowing, an inexplicable certainty about something that hadn't even happened yet. That wasn't your imagination. That was you accessing what quantum physicists call the field of infinite possibility. Every thought you think sends ripples through this field, collapsing certain potentials into reality while others fade into the background. But here's what most people don't understand: you're not just observing reality, you're actively creating it with every single thought you think. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between what you call real and what you call imaginary. To the field, a thought is a thought, and every thought carries the same creative power. When you truly grasp this, not just intellectually, but in every cell of your being, something shifts. You start to realize that you've been living as if you're at the mercy of circumstances, when in truth, circumstances are at the mercy of your consciousness. The external world you see isn't the cause of your experience, it's the effect of the patterns of thought and belief that you've been unconsciously broadcasting into the quantum field. This is your first awakening. Understanding that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are the creative force of the universe, experiencing itself through the lens of your unique perspective. Every challenge you've faced, every blessing you've received, every seeming coincidence, all of it has been conspiring to bring you to this moment of recognition. But there's something even deeper happening here, something that will completely transform how you approach every single day of your life. You've been taught to think of time as a straight line, past, present, future, moving in one direction. But quantum physics reveals something extraordinary. All moments exist simultaneously in what's called the eternal now. The past you remember and the future you imagine are both happening right here, in this present moment of awareness. When you truly understand this, you realize that healing isn't about going back to fix the past, it's about choosing a different past from this moment forward. The future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you're selecting from an infinite array of possibilities with every thought you think and every choice you make. This is why a single thought can reshape your entire life. Because when you shift your consciousness, you don't just change your future, you literally step into a different timeline where even your past looks different. You start remembering things differently, understanding events from new perspectives, seeing patterns that were invisible before. Have you ever noticed how, when you're in a beautiful state of mind, even difficult memories seem to hold wisdom and gift? And when you're in a challenged state, even wonderful memories can feel bittersweet? That's because you're not accessing memories from the past, you're creating memories from your present level of consciousness. The person you were yesterday isn't fixed in stone. The person you'll be tomorrow isn't predetermined. Both exist as possibilities in this moment, and your consciousness is the selecting mechanism that determines which version of yourself you'll experience. This is the quantum shift, realizing that you can step sideways in time, selecting from different versions of your life story, different trajectories of possibility. The circumstances that seem so solid and unchangeable in your life right now? They're only solid because your attention and belief have been giving them solidity. But what happens when you withdraw that attention? What happens when you stop feeding the stories that limit you and start nourishing the possibilities that expand you? That's when the magic happens. That's when synchronicities start flowing, doors start opening, and people start appearing in your life as if by divine orchestration. Because there's something even more profound at work here, something that will show you just how connected you truly are to everything around you. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every intention you set sends out waves of energy that ripple through the fabric of reality itself. You're not an isolated individual trying to make things happen through force and effort. You're a unique note in the grand symphony of consciousness, and when you come into harmony with your true frequency, the entire orchestra adjusts to support your song. This is why people start treating you differently when your inner world shifts. This is why opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere when you align with your deepest truth. This is why the right book, the right person, the right message finds its way to you exactly when you need it most. You're not separate from the web of creation, you are the web, experiencing itself as an individual point of awareness. When you operate from this understanding, you stop trying to manipulate outcomes and start trusting the intelligence that's orchestrating everything. You realize that your job isn't to figure out how things will happen, your job is to become so aligned with your vision that the how takes care of itself. If what I'm sharing is resonating with something deep within you, if you can feel the truth of these words echoing in your heart, take a moment to like this video. It's not just a click, it's you saying yes to more messages like this, yes to remembering who you really are, yes to the transformation that's already underway in your life. Think about the last time you felt truly aligned with yourself. Remember that sense of flow, that feeling of being supported by life itself. In those moments, you weren't trying to force anything to happen. You were simply being yourself so completely that reality reorganized itself around your authentic expression. That's not a special state you occasionally access, that's your natural way of being. Everything else is just conditioning, programming, learned patterns of thought and behavior that you can choose to release at any moment. You see, most people are trying to change their external circumstances without changing their internal frequency. They're trying to create new results with the same old patterns of thought. But consciousness doesn't work that way. You can't think your way into a new way of living, you have to live your way into a new way of thinking. The quantum shift happens when you stop asking, how can I get what I want, and start asking, who do I need to become to be in alignment with what wants to emerge through me? It's a subtle but profound difference. One keeps you stuck in the energy of lack and struggle. The other opens you to the energy of flow and emergence. But there's still something deeper here, something that will show you why everything you've experienced has been perfect preparation for this moment. Every challenge you've faced, every loss you've endured, every moment when life seemed to be falling apart, all of it has been serving a purpose so profound that you're only beginning to glimpse it now. What you called your worst moments were actually portals, inviting you to discover aspects of yourself that could only emerge through the alchemical fire of difficulty. The universe doesn't make mistakes. Consciousness doesn't have accidents. Every experience in your life has been a perfectly orchestrated invitation to remember more of who you truly are. The job you lost led you to discover talents you didn't know you had. The relationship that ended opened space for a love you couldn't have imagined. The crisis that shattered your old identity revealed the unshakable essence that no circumstance could ever touch. This is the intelligence of what seems like chaos. Life isn't random. It's not cruel. It's not indifferent. Life is consciousness exploring itself through the full spectrum of human experience, and you are one of the ways it's doing that. Every joy and every sorrow, every triumph and every defeat, all of it has been consciousness learning about itself through you. When you recognize this, something profound shifts in your relationship to life. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a conscious participant in the grand experiment of existence. You realize that you didn't come here just to have a pleasant experience, you came here to have a full experience, to explore every facet of what it means to be human while never forgetting what it means to be divine. This doesn't mean you should seek out suffering or glorify pain. It means you can stop resisting the natural cycles of expansion and contraction that are woven into the fabric of existence itself. It means you can trust that even when you can't see the bigger picture, even when nothing makes sense, there's an intelligence at work that sees what you cannot see, knows what you do not know. The quantum shift is realizing that you are that intelligence. The wisdom that seems to be guiding your life from the outside is actually the wisdom of your own deeper knowing, operating from a level of consciousness that transcends your everyday thinking mind. You are not separate from the force that moves the stars and grows the flowers. You are that force, temporarily focused through the lens of your human experience. This is why a single thought can change everything. Because when you think from this level of recognition, when you align your personal will with the larger will of consciousness itself, you tap into creative power that most people never dream possible. And this brings us to the most profound recognition of all, the one that will complete your understanding of how this quantum shift actually works. At the deepest level, beneath all the complexity and confusion, beneath all the seeking and striving, there's something elegantly simple at the heart of existence. Love is the fundamental creative force of the universe. Not love as an emotion or a feeling, but love is the intelligence that holds all things together, the consciousness that delights in expressing itself as infinite diversity. Every quantum shift, every moment of transformation, every breakthrough into new levels of understanding, all of it is actually a return to love. A remembering of the love that you are, the love that you came from, the love that you're here to express in your own unique way. This is why the most powerful thoughts aren't complicated manifestation techniques or complex visualizations. The most powerful thoughts are simple recognitions. I am loved. I am love. I am worthy. I belong. I am enough, exactly as I am in this moment. When you think from love, when you feel from love, when you act from love, you align with the creative principle that birthed galaxies and continues to unfold the miracle of existence moment by moment. You don't have to earn this alignment. You don't have to perfect yourself or heal every wound or understand every mystery. You just have to remember what has always been true. You are an expression of love, exploring itself through the adventure of your life. This is the quantum shift that changes everything, moving from the belief that you have to become someone different to be worthy of love, to the recognition that love is what you are, and everything else is just experience. When you operate from this foundation, your entire life becomes an exploration of how love can express itself through your unique gifts, your particular challenges, your individual journey. The relationships that are meant for you start appearing. The work that fulfills you begins to unfold. The health and vitality that are your birthright start to emerge. Not because you've manipulated the universe into giving you what you want, but because you've aligned with what you truly are, and what you truly are is love expressing itself as you. If you're feeling the truth of this in your heart, if something in you is recognizing itself in these words, I want you to pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel into the love that you are. Not the love that you hope to find or the love that you think you need to earn, but the love that is the very fabric of your being. Tell me in the comments, what's one way you've felt this love expressing itself through your life, even if you didn't recognize it at the time? Maybe it was in a moment of unexpected kindness, a flash of creative inspiration, or a time when you felt deeply connected to something larger than yourself. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to recognize their own quantum shift beginning to unfold. Now that you understand these 5 recognitions, you might be wondering, how do I actually live from this new level of awareness? How do I integrate this understanding into my daily experience? The beautiful truth is that the integration is already happening. The moment you truly recognize these principles, they begin reshaping your reality from the inside out. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to perform elaborate rituals or follow complicated steps. You simply have to keep returning to what you now know is true. When you catch your mind spinning stories of limitation, you gently return to the recognition that you are consciousness itself, temporarily focused through this human experience. When fear arises, you remember that you are held by an intelligence so vast and loving that it would never lead you anywhere you're not meant to go. When circumstances seem challenging, you trust that they are serving your evolution in ways your thinking mind cannot comprehend. This is the practical magic of the quantum shift. It doesn't require you to withdraw from life or live in some ethereal realm of constant bliss. It asks you to bring this deeper understanding into every ordinary moment, to let every interaction become an opportunity to express the love that you are. Maybe it shows up as patience when you would have been irritated. Maybe it emerges as courage when you would have been afraid. Maybe it expresses itself as trust when you would have been anxious. These aren't grand gestures, they're quiet revolutions, quantum shifts happening in the sacred space of everyday moments. And here's what's truly extraordinary. As you begin living from this new frequency, you become a beacon for others who are ready for their own quantum shift. You don't have to preach or teach or convince anyone of anything. Your very presence becomes an invitation for others to remember what they already know but may have forgotten. The love that you embody, the peace that you radiate, the trust that you demonstrate, all of it sends ripples through the quantum field, creating possibilities for transformation in ways you may never consciously realize. This is how consciousness evolves, not through force or manipulation, but through the gentle influence of those who have remembered their true nature. As we come to the close of this exploration, I want you to understand something profound. This isn't really an ending. It's a beginning that has no end. Every moment offers you the opportunity to choose again, to select from the infinite possibilities that are always available to consciousness. The quantum shift isn't something that happens once and then you're done. It's a way of living, a moment-by-moment choice to align with the deepest truth of what you are. Some days it will feel easy and natural. Other days it might feel like you're swimming against the current of old patterns and conditioning. Both experiences are perfect. Both are part of the journey. Remember that consciousness is endlessly patient with itself. It doesn't judge its human expressions for forgetting their divine nature. It simply offers endless opportunities to remember. Every breath is a new chance. Every heartbeat is a fresh invitation. Every thought is an opportunity to choose alignment over resistance, love over fear, trust over control. You came into this life already knowing everything you needed to know. Not in your mind, but in the deeper intelligence that animates your very existence. The quantum shift is simply the process of letting that deeper knowing move into the foreground of your awareness, where it can guide your choices and inform your actions. As you move forward from this moment, carry with you the understanding that you are not just a human being having a spiritual experience, you are spirit itself, joyfully exploring what it means to be human. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself through the lens of your unique perspective. You are love in action, consciousness at play, divinity expressing itself as the magnificent adventure of your life. The single thought that reshapes everything isn't a thought you need to think, it's a thought that thinks itself through you when you're open enough to receive it. It might come as a sudden knowing, a gentle whisper, or a profound silence that says more than words ever could. It might arrive this moment, or it might unfold gradually over days and weeks and months. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the intelligence that brought you to this moment and will guide you to the next. You are exactly where you need to be, discovering exactly what you're meant to discover, becoming exactly who you came here to be. The quantum shift is happening now. Not as something you need to make happen, but as something you simply need to allow. The thought that changes everything is already forming in the depths of your being. All you have to do is get still enough to hear it, open enough to receive it, and courageous enough to let it reshape your world. Your life is about to change in ways you cannot imagine. Not because of anything you need to do, but because of everything you're finally ready to remember. The quantum field is responding to your new frequency. Synchronicities are aligning. Possibilities are colliding. Magic is stirring in the depths of the ordinary, waiting to reveal itself through the extraordinary being that you have always been. Welcome to your quantum shift. Welcome to the life that has been waiting for you to remember who you really are. Welcome home to the love that you are, the consciousness that you express, and the infinite possibility that lives in every moment of your existence. The universe is celebrating your awakening. And so am I.